letters from the Hittite queen Pujuhepa to the pharaoh of Egypt, pleading for shipments of grain. "It is a matter of life and death," she wrote. The pharaoh Merneptah recorded that he sent ship after ship of grain to keep alive the land of Hatti. Even the greatest rivals of the age were forced into a desperate humanitarian alliance to keep the world order from falling apart. But the drought was not the only disaster. The eastern Mediterranean sits on a complex web of fault lines. Geologists have discovered that between 1225 and 1175 BC, the region experienced a sequence of massive seismic events known as earthquake storms. This wasn't just one earthquake. It was a chain reaction of tremors that leveled cities from Mycenae to Troy. In a world already weakened by famine and economic strain, the physical destruction of the palace walls was a death blow. The people of the Bronze Age did not have the scientific language to describe a shifting climate or tectonic plates. To them, the gods had turned their backs. The contract between the king and the divine was broken. When the king can no longer provide food and the gods are shaking the earth, the very concept of the state begins to dissolve. The arrival of the Sea Peoples. As the empires of the interior began to crumble, a different kind of pressure was building on the fringes of the world. In the Balkans, the Aegean Islands, and the coast of Italy, people were on the move. These were not professional soldiers looking for conquest. They were refugees of the same climate disaster that was strangling the great powers. Driven by hunger and pushed by migrating tribes in the European interior, they became a tidal wave of humanity. The Egyptian records at Medinet Habu describe them as a conspiracy in their isles. We know them as the Sea Peoples. They were a confederation of tribes, the Peliset, the Tejeker, the Shekelesh, the Denian, and the Weshesh. They traveled with their families, their cattle, and their belongings in heavy ox carts. This was not a raid. It was a migration. Some of these people had previously served as mercenaries in the Egyptian and Hittite armies. They knew exactly how the great powers fought. They knew that the invincible chariot armies of the pharaoh were useless in the mountains or in the narrow, burning streets of a city under siege. In 1180 BC, the wave hit the coast of Anatolia. The Hittite Empire, already hollowed out by famine, simply ceased to exist.